Hello, I'm Beau.
And I'm Aaron.
And this is Old Games Plus episode 6. We're moving right along here.
Yep.
On season 1 Imperfect Works, covering the Tetsuya Takahashi masterpiece Xenogears. If you're new here, check out old episodes to find out what's going on. I'm sick of saying. Yeah, there's going to be some interference for a moment. There's some machinery running, and we're just going to have to deal with it because there's no other time to record this at all. Like, we just have to go with this.
Rip.
I wasn't saying anything important. Like, comment, subscribe. We're loving the comments.
Yeah.
We really are loving the comments, guys.
Yeah, it's really cool to have that kind of interaction.
Yeah, keep those coming. Leave us a review places. Share us. And even if you don't like us, you can still share us. How dare you tell your friends what to like? Give them the chance to make up their own mind. So we're finding out a lot about Faye. We know definitively that this random henchman he was sent with is not his father.
Yes.
We know that definitively, so we could strike one guy off.
Yes, we know for a fact that this particular man, this unfaced individual.
How was he so sure that wasn't his pops? Did they go on Maury or something? Like, how did he know?
What's really funny is you would think a guy with amnesia would be a little bit more open to the possibility, but Faye was not even considering it.
Like, the minute that guy said son, Faye's like, you know what? I'm taking a lot of shit these past couple days, but that ain't my pops.
He just looked over and he's like, there's no way my father drives a default gear. How dare you?
It's kind of like Ford and Chevy in that world.
You have a unspecified model of gear. You are not my father.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. There's literally no other time for us to record.
Cover the mic.
Yeah, there's heavy machinery running. I don't know what to do for you guys. That's just one of the quirks that keeps you coming back to Donneron.
Yeah.
So, so you make it through this kind of annoying dungeon.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was fun when I was a kid. I didn't think it was very much fun as an adult.
No, because you get caught like mid-jump or mid-attempt to jump.
We talked about
into
this
a
last
fight.
time.
Yeah,
and you'll get into a fight. It's ridiculous.
It's
and then,
frustrating,
so when the
to
fight
say the
ends,
least.
you just
Yep.
you just kind of
you have to do all your platforming again.
So yeah, I'm not I'm not crazy about this dungeon.
Thankfully, it's like ridiculously short.
But we encounter that squad.
Yes.
That raided Bart's hideout.
Yeah,
and they've got a new leader.
They do. Yes.
A one Elheim Van Houten.
Yeah. Yeah. Familiar face, and it's really funny. It's not funny. It's actually horrific. But they do pretty much nothing except for dehumanize her because she is a woman leading the troop.
Oh, they are not happy about a woman leading the troop.
There's only one of them. I think his name's Helholm or something like that. He's the guy with the purple hair, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one even remotely polite to her.
Yeah, he's the one with glasses,
yes.
right? Yes.
Leave it to the guy with glasses.
They have the character with glasses that's very serious. They have the guy that the classic anime bad guy I just like fighting.
Yep. They've got the thick boy bad guy.
Rink.
Yeah, Rink.
Yeah.
They got the pretty boy.
Yeah, the gang's all here.
Yeah. The pretty boy's a meth head.
So this is okay. So as a kid, I just kind of thought that this was kind of a weird story beat.
Mm-hmm.
Like I because Ellie takes some drive.
Yes.
Because she told Faye the next time we meet we'll be enemies, and by thunder,
yeah,
she's sticking to her guns. Faye does not like that because Faye's like, you're such a good person. Again, being way more familiar than he should be with her.
Yeah.
Which when I was a kid, I was like, man, he cares so much about her. And as an adult, it just struck me as odd. Now I know the reason why as an adult.
It makes sense,
but like looking back on it, like if I had played this for the first time as an adult, I would think this is very weird.
That he's so instantly attached.
That he's so instantly attached and telling her what to do and how to live her life. I mean, he's right,
yeah.
but
doesn't mean he should be doing it. But
it's very because like I think we live in and when you go back and play a lot of 90s games with what we know now and because like we're very privileged to live in a time where people are more outspoken about things in narrative media that aren't necessarily good for our collective consciousness.
Yes.
And I know everyone's going to accuse me of it's fine. I don't care what you accuse me of. It's a good thing that like Me Too happened.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that like, you know, ethnic groups and everything are coming out and saying like, we don't like this portrayal of us.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Like this is a good thing. And I've already seen how my children benefit from growing up in a world like that.
Yeah.
More so than I did, because I had to learn a lot of hard lessons.
Yeah, versus how you and I had it. Because,
yes,
like,
I feel like I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like we had to learn a lot of like we had some very bad ideas, and then we got smacked in the face with other cultures, and we're like, oh,
well,
you know,
one thing that I've talked about a few times, a whole ton with you, and I think I may have mentioned once or twice on here even, is that like one of the reasons why Japanese RPGs and a lot of other things like anime and whatnot from Japan are so important to me is because I directly attribute them for stopping me from becoming another like backwoods, like close-minded kind of person, right?
No, yeah, and it is because they introduced us to a lot of ideas.
Yeah, it showed me that there was
earlier
more
than
than
we would
here.
have. Yeah, much earlier than we would have encountered them. But so yeah, the Faye's overt familiarity and how he feels he has a right to direct her to something else is very odd to play as an adult, especially if you don't know why he feels this way. Because Faye doesn't know why he feels this way at the moment.
And what's really interesting, like one thing that's cool is like, you know, Ellie, she doesn't want to fight Faye, and so she decides, you know, I really don't want to do this, but I'm going to take this drive because I got to fight him. This is what I got to do.
And Citan has given us a short. We discussed it previously.
It's like performance enhancer.
It's a performance enhancing drug, but it makes you crazy. It is, and that's why I call this section kind of the game's PSA.
Yeah,
because it really is an It feels like an '80s movie anti-drug thing.
It really is in some ways.
You looked at cocaine in the other room, and now you're fucking insane.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. Because Ellie especially, like, she's one of those people that's like hypersensitive to it for reasons we kind of learn later.
Yes.
So like when she takes drive, it's like some people, they take drive, like Rink, for example, one of the guys in our squad.
Yeah.
He takes his drive. Okay, I have taken my drive and I am now ready to fight. He's like, it's a little more level head for him, right?
He fights better when he's had a few.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. So like, you know, like we don't know, he could be a nice guy when he's not on his drive, but like he takes his drive, he's still normal-ish, right? Ellie takes hers and she goes like basically batshit insane. And one of the things that I never picked up on as a kid, but when she takes this drive and she gets into this fight with Faye, almost half her dialogue through the whole thing is literally bashing him for trying to tell her what to do. Like his insolence, a mere lamb telling an Abel what to do with their lives. Are you kidding me? Like it's weird that that's what she repressed.
It's like she's a totally different person.
Oh, totally. Her portrait changes and everything. She starts literally looking down on him.
It actually reminds me of for those of you who've played Persona 4, a game that's really been on my mind lately, it really reminds me when the characters encounter their shadows.
Yeah.
How the shadow just picks at the one thing they don't want anyone to know about, and it just picks.
I can definitely see that.
So it actually reminds me of that a lot. As an adult who had played, of course, Persona 4 wouldn't have come out for another 10 years.
Yeah.
When we were playing this game initially. So anyway, Faye...
only 10 years?
A Persona 4, the original version of Persona 4 launched on the PlayStation 2 in 2008.
Wow. I didn't know it was 2008. Crazy.
So, Faye wins because he's the main character.
Yeah, but he doesn't win it through, like, a regular fight. He literally, like, she spazzes out, and he tackles her and holds her gear down until she stops seizing. Another PSA, children, don't do drugs.
No, yeah, and it's... Yeah. I mean,
because that's literally
you
what
said
happens.
it.
She's just screaming, and her gear is seizing.
And it's a really because this game is full of times when gears are very humanized.
Yes,
and this is I think the first one because it's a scene.
The first one I ever saw.
Yeah. So
because I think I probably saw Gundam after playing. Gundam Wing afterwards, and those are just big old robot boys.
Yeah.
This was literally the first time I ever saw a robot like emoting.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of symbolism buried there.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid, I just thought the whole sequence was weird.
Yeah, it was.
I just thought the whole sequence was really weird.
Well, because it kind of ties into what we've said in the past episodes, I think. So, like, up until this point specifically, we have our mission. We are getting Bart's country back. That's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, this happens. And we've gone a couple hours without weird shit happening. And now we got some really weird shit going on. And it kind of throws the equilibrium we started to think we had off.
So yeah, he kind of talks her down.
Yeah.
She's still not gonna leave Gebler.
Yeah, she can't. It's her home.
She can't. It's her home. This is, he doesn't get, like, you don't get it, Faye. You don't have sorry. She doesn't do that.
Yeah, no, but yeah. So he tells her, he's like, look, you're right, and he gets really mopey and pessimistic, which he himself says as his defense. She's like, why are you sad? And he's like, I just get pessimistic. But
this woman I hardly know won't immediately pledge her life to me. Dang it.
But
the main character.
This is supposed to be easy for me. But no, yeah, he basically tells her one last time. He's like, all right, you know what, you're right, but if you ever get the chance, like, just get out of it. Like, stop, get out of the military.
Yeah.
Like, yes, And he goes off to complete his mission, which is
attack the border fleet.
Get the border fleet. And the border fleet is where things, I feel like, start to go back downhill for Faye. And it's where we as the player get a lot of information just thrown at us, but we don't get any information at the same time. Like, not
right. We're gonna get a lot of proper nouns.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of stuff that isn't explained yet, and it's weirdly enough, it's not confusing. Even as a kid, I wasn't really confused, but I definitely was really wanting to know what the hell was happening at this point, because
as an adult, I kind of felt like it was good pacing. As a kid, I couldn't wait to find out what was happening next, and I didn't fully understand what was going on. And as a kid, I thought I was supposed to and just didn't.
Yeah, you just
as an adult, you can kind of recognize, you're like, okay, they're planting seeds.
Yeah, they're intentionally being obtuse.
So anyway, Faye goes and fights.
Yeah, you get this really cool cut sequence where you get to, like, hover on the sand and try and dodge enemies and stuff. But you attack the fleet, and you get to the flagship, and Vandercom is there, and he basically tells everyone, he's like, stand down, only use my big boy gun.
Yeah, like,
that's all I want, big boy gun.
Thing, like, Ramses yells at me for my gun.
I'll show him how good the
gun is.
And you get to fight the gun, which was funny because, like, especially because the visual representation, I really expected something more impressive. It's a giant pirate cannon.
Yeah.
Literal giant pirate cannon. You fight that. Everything's going cool. Vanderkoom is losing his mind, though.
It's failing.
Yeah.
It's not working. He's not going to be able to prove Ramses wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He really wants something, Aaron. He really wants some power.
He wants some pee-popping power.
Is there some... Oh, my goodness, there is. So, Santa Groff comes down from the sky.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, buddy, couldn't help but notice you wanted some power.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, he's Tim Allen.
Oh, God.
He's the Tim
No.
Like, I just, like, Wilson's on the other side of the fence. Well, Groff.
Sighton is Wilson. The know-it-all who just watches.
And gives him only enough information for him to misinterpret.
To make it worse. Oh, my God, that's awful.
Why has there not been memes about Groff being Tim Allen?
Probably because there's not very much crossover between Xenogears fans and Home Improvement fans.
But why not? It was 1998. What the fuck else were you watching on ABC? Like,
Roseanne? Was Roseanne still on?
Was Roseanne on ABC?
Yeah.
I feel like Roseanne was still on, but I feel like Roseanne sucked by 1998.
Probably.
Actually, Nick at Night's ruined Roseanne so much when Nick at Night still existed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they played it so much that I don't like Roseanne anymore. I know that's un-American. I don't like Roseanne anymore. I don't want to watch it.
What sucks is, like, super short side note, I remember that Dan is supposed to be funny, but literally all I remember about that show is the sad parts, which was like
they were everywhere. Joss Whedon was one of the staff writers.
Well, there's your problem.
That's your problem.
God.
I love the robot chicken joke where It's Seth Green going through all his
Oh.
Hollywood things to get help for Robot
He goes
Chicken.
like,
And when he goes to
"You
Just
wanna
Weed,
be
he goes,
part of the weed
so you're
inverse."
back for the weed inverse. And it's Seth Green goes,
He goes,
oh,
"Oh,
I
I
forgot you called it that. The which I actually think Seth MacFarlane is the Emperor on those.
I think he is.
He is the Emperor, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that casting is brilliant.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
But
yeah, no.
yeah, Groff shows up.
Groff
He
sh-
asks Vanderkaum if he wants the power. Of course, Vanderkaum's like, you know what? If you got some,
He's like, I'll take it.
You
I'll
know, if
definitely
you-
take it because he's in
the,
the middle of a
you
psychotic
getting rid of
break
it?
right now.
you getting
Yeah.
rid of it. If you're getting rid of it, I'll take it. All right. Don't. I'm not looking for like Groff is the guy that put he puts his mower on the lawn with the sign that says free. It's free. You just got to come and get it.
Just come and get it.
So,
yeah,
that's a little Midwest culture for you folks.
Yeah, that's-
when Midwesterners
that's
get
all
so
the
fed up
culture.
with a piece of equipment,
a piece of anything really.
we literally just put it at the end of our driveways with a sign that says free, and we insist, even though no one argues, that they have to pick it up themselves.
Yes.
Everyone knows that, but we feel it's important to keep harping
it's
on
part
that.
of the ritual to say
It's
it.
part of the
Yeah, you have to go through these steps. It's a very ritualistic process of handing off your discarded goods.
The reason it's free, by the way, is because it's literally junk.
It literally is.
There is no.
But no matter how much of a junk it is, there is a redneck on your street somewhere who will be able to fix it enough to make it work for another month.
Oh, my dad.
Guaranteed.
It never lasts long at the end of his driveway if
No.
he's getting rid of shit.
No.
He never does. I believe Adam's done the same thing because Adam lives right around the corner from where I grew up,
Yeah.
from where my parents live. I think
I
he's
mean,
even successfully done it.
It's a really good way to get rid of that mower or that rundown couch you no longer want because it's guaranteed someone will scoop
With
it.
your neighbors, it probably doesn't make it to the end of the driveway.
Well,
they probably
you know,
take it before
I
you're
mean,
ready to give it away.
they take my damn trash cans, so they, they take. Obviously, they're taking the trash in it too.
Sorry, guys. There's a little bit more of it in us than we want to admit. But anyway,
I'm only redneck, ironically.
the hipster redneck.
But yeah,
I pay $8 for my Coors Light.
Thank you very kindly.
it's,
I drink Coors Light, but I only buy it in the bottles. But no, yeah, Groff comes down. He gives
Yeah.
this really intense speech when he's giving this delivering the power.
ignoring Faye, by the way.
Yeah, Faye's because
Yeah.
Faye and his crew are they thought they won, and so they're off on the sides, figuring out what if they should head back, if they should do more damage, whatever. And Groff soups up Dora is what it's called.
It pimps his ride.
the gear.
Yeah.
And
That joke would have been funny 12 years ago.
oh yeah, it would have been amazing.
Yeah,
It would have been
been-
fresh.
Yeah.
So yeah, he powers it up, and then somehow Faye is the one who senses it first because we're not told anything. Faye just literally turns in that direction, and we get a dot dialogue, and then the other guys are like, what's going on? And then our good friend Endora shows back up, and he's actually, his gear has an aura. It's glowing.
It's gone Super Saiyan.
Basically, yeah. And you feel like there's going to be something big that happens here. My RPG instincts told me, okay, this is boss fight round 2 is what this is. I got to fight the super tough version, and then I'll beat him, and then I'll go back to Bart, and it'll be okay. Well, he just scoops up all your comrades and destroys them in front of you.
So that guy, that Faye was unreasonably
His wannabe father.
listen, I have no connections to you whatsoever. I could not care less about you. Yeah. So now, Faye, his hands are getting a little slick on the controls because, by golly, there's more blood on them now.
Well,
so
and what's dumb about Faye feeling that way is that those guys told him to run. They're like, we got this. You report back to Bart. You're more important than we are. And Faye's like, but no.
right, they were acting as soldiers.
Yes.
And Faye couldn't understand that.
No.
He didn't get that that's what they were doing. This is, when we joined with the young master, we knew at one point we'd have to stake our lives on the mission.
This is what we got ourselves into.
This is our moment. Please don't waste it. And Faye's like, you know what? I'm I'm gonna waste it.
I'm gonna do that.
I'm gonna. Don't worry, your deaths will be completely in vain.
But yeah, so he watches them die, and as it's happening, that familiar heartbeat starts kicking in again.
Yes,
and we can see Faye in his cockpit going through some serious, like the camera's changing angle. Like, he's literally seeing red because the whole screen is freaking red.
it's very like Hitchcock.
It really is.
It's like, so basically, what happened in Lahan seems to be happening again.
Yes.
And we're starting to notice a formula. Witnesses death.
Yep.
That he feels he's responsible for.
Yep.
Groff's there.
Yep.
And
Waltall's
he's in
there.
Weltall.
Yep.
So there's a few pieces of the ingredient, and one key thing to remember is that one piece of the ingredient seems to always be with him, and that's Weltall.
Yep. Always.
So anyway,
but yeah, so we get a cut. We get like a flash and a cut. And then we get to catch up with Bart, see how he's doing.
Yes.
Bart, Citan, Sigurd, they're all getting ready to raid the Capitol. They're going to take down Shakan. It's going to be great, except they walk into an ambush because they use the exact same path in there, the exact same way. And Shakan was like,
fool me once.
Yeah.
Shame on me.
Well, what's funny is actually Shakan didn't see shit. It was all Ramses. Ramses had he told Miang, and he was like, yeah, no, they're gonna do this shit again. I'm gonna be off beating some people's asses over by Nissan. Just have Shakan wait.
Right.
But yeah, they greet Bart. Miang has this good little dialogue with Sigurd, talking about how and Citan. It's really good because she insults Citan in this moment.
Yes.
Because she's like, did you really think this plan would work? Hugo, have you been down here so long that your mind has gone? And Citan's just like, I'm going to let that one slide.
Well, honestly, as a kid, I actually thought it was like, man, someone's taking Citan to task. Like, I was like, man, someone's really digging into it. But as an adult, I really don't. Again, as an adult, his mentality, his like where he is so nebulous that you wonder if Citan was kind of like, yes, get him. It's not as though I planned this or anything.
Yeah.
You know, you really don't know if Citan...
Like how far the rabbit hole goes.
Exactly. You don't know. Like,
well, I think I said that like an episode or two ago. Like I've played this game at least 20 times. I have it almost memorized in a lot of ways. I do not know.
I'm not far enough in Perfect Works to tell you either. They might not tell me in Perfect Works.
I bet you they don't.
I
bet you they don't because that's like but yeah, that's like Citan for you.
So anyway,
yeah, they get ambushed. We get this incredibly badass moment because Mason comes over the freaking walls in the land crab.
Well, it's badass until he can't turn it over again.
Yeah, well,
remember?
Well, it's not his fault. The propellers literally flew off.
He gets in. And they all get in, and Bart has basically they all get in, and Bart's kind of like nah nah boo boo, and then it won't start.
He literally almost gives them a see you later, stinky.
Literally the Bart Simpson mooning.
Yeah.
And then it won't start. And like
because the propeller, the freaking doc's shoddy maintenance on this land crab, the propellers left without them,
and it has one of those it has the feeling of when you're trying to get out of somewhere and the car won't turn over, you know,
and you're like kicking at it and like hitting the steering wheel trying to get your come on, don't do this to me now, baby. But Mason redeems it because after the propellers leave, he literally just runs that bitch in a circle and yeets it off the walls and
it
jumps
climbs
out
like a spider and jumps out. And there's a moment where like you get Shakan just sitting there like.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was like, no, like, the thing you're getting ready to say is it's so beautiful because when you watch this scene, the game literally pauses on his face for a good like 3 seconds, and it's just him like with his hands on his hips, like, well, I'll be damned.
Like Buford T. Justice, like waving his fist at the bandit as he rides off.
Yeah, it's basically exactly what it is.
And
it's so satisfying. But at the same time, it's weird. And like,
as an adult watching it, it's like his soldiers could have shot the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
like it's kind of weird.
They tried it after they jumped off the wall. But no, the thing that gets me, I didn't like as a kid. I just enjoyed the ride, I think. But now the thing that's so weird is you got this super serious shit going on with Faye, and then this whole clip with Bart is pure comedy gold, basically. You know,
which. Honestly, that's something because I hear a lot of people. There's a lot of fans of Xenogears that don't like Choo Choo because they feel she brings levity to situations that shouldn't have levity and everything.
Yeah.
Like, Have you not watched anime before?
I mean, that's like a core principle
That's
of it.
one of the fun things about anime is there can be a moment more serious than any Western media can give you, and then a moment like a great example is Trigun.
Yeah.
Look at Trigun.
Yeah.
Like Vash is fucking goofy, but he's also one of the best written and most emotionally developed characters.
Yeah.
In any story I've ever seen. I love Vash the Stampede. I think he's an incredible character, but he's flat out goofy, and that goofiness actually comes into play where he plays that part to get people to doubt him and take him less seriously.
What was it with 90s and early 2000s anime with having a guy in the desert have blonde hair and a red jacket?
Loved it. They loved it. Also, 90s anime and manga where like your jacket was just way too big to be reasonable.
Yeah.
Guts. Alucard.
Yeah.
Vash.
It's always the collar, too. There's something about collars.
They love those collars. They love those big old coats. With a nebula size, it's only this long when you're walking, but when the wind's blowing, it's like way longer.
Yeah, it's like a freaking wedding trail kind of thing.
So anyway, Bart gets away. Shakan kind of has a, well, damn it.
Yeah.
And
Miang literally just laughs about it.
And
she does not care.
Back at the fleet, we got
we don't get to see anything at the fleet quite yet. Because
does it show them go back to the Yggdrasil?
Yeah. Because what happens next is they flee. They get to the Yggdrasil.
Right. Yeah, that's the segue.
Bart has a basic almost a meltdown because he's like, all right, we're going to Nissan now. Because they were told that Ramses is defeating the Nissan forces.
Yes.
And he's like, we have to go to Nissan. And Seitan and Sigurd are trying to talk him out of it because they're like, we can't fight them. If we lose the Yggdrasil, we lose our power base.
Yes.
And Bart doesn't want to hear it because
he's responsible for this.
Yeah, them.
They implicated Nissan.
Yeah.
Or someone implicated Nissan.
He agreed to it.
No one's mentioning that right now.
No one ever mentions who did that. But yeah, and but before they get the chance to really decide to do anything, Ramses and his fleet shows back up because they already won and they were heading back to the capital. And so they get into a minor skirmish with Ramses. And I call it minor only because Bart and crew have zero offensive ability against them and they're immediately wounded in battle. Like the ship is crippled.
Right.
And Ramses, we get a cool little scene where Ramses is like, you know what? We're going easy. Give them a chance to surrender. Don't fire on them unless they attack. If they launch any gears, just shoot the gear, not the main ship. I promised an old friend I would take it easy. And we get a cut scene of when he confronted Sigurd when Sigurd was leaving. And Ramses, he couldn't understand it. He was like, why would you do this?
He's confused. He's like, what? He's like, but my ideology is perfect.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're leaving? Yeah. Like, I made it better. Look, you stupid fucking surface dweller. I made it so good for you.
He went kind of Patrick Bateman in that moment.
Yes, it was. Well, it's like it's showing that look how do you stupid surface dweller, do you appreciate how unprejudiced I am? It's one of those. It's listen, I am so woke. Do you not see that? How can you not appreciate that?
Yep. And Sigurd's like, dude, I just came here to steal your guys' technology. I'm out, bud.
And Sigurd, he makes it clear. He's like, look, Ramses, like you're like trying.
He's like, it was
that.
cool to do stuff with you, like but I'm out. So yeah, that's why Ramses.
It's kind of like a light version of Guts and Griffith. Actually, it's kind of like an extremely light version of that.
It's got that same basic direction, only very not as insane.
If it was someone that maybe wasn't as important as Guts leaving, they made him a hawk, kinda.
Well, I think it's more like if that scene with Guts and Griffith had been written by literally any other person.
So anyway, Sigurd did left, but Ramses is making good on what he said.
He's taking it easy.
I'm going to take it easy on him.
Until they get their engine fixed. They try a bolt, and he's like, all right, fuck you guys.
Ramses this is also a military mind. He's got a military mind working because I've got all the cards.
Yeah.
There's nothing they can really do to us. There's no reason to go all out.
Yeah.
He's
like, why? Because he's not a brute.
Right. He's not Vandercom with his cannons.
He's a soldier. He's a smart man.
How is Vandercom doing on the border, by the way, people?
Well, we get kind of a hint on that because as Ramses and them are kind of gloating about how happy they are of having captured the Yggdrasil, All of a sudden, out of nowhere, they start detecting, as they put it, a huge source of radiation. And then his entire fleet gets vaporized by a flying red gear. The red
flying red
yes
gear.
With little glowy boy wings coming out the back of it.
So now Ramses is like, describe that gear to me one more time.
Yeah, it's so good too, because the gear shows up, and it's just wreaking havoc. Nothing's stopping it, and this is the first time.
I had to believe this is an incredible amount of distance it covered very quickly. By the way,
yeah, because it's like moving stupid fast, even for a gear, from the way they talk about it. And when they put it up on screen, this is the first time we hear this person be identified. This is when Ramses actually identifies him as the demon.
The demon of Elru.
The demon of Elru. And so Ramses immediately bolts out there.
And so by this point, it's really well established, whether you're a child, whether you're an adult, no matter what you're playing, the game has done a really good job of establishing that whoever this demon of Elru is, it damaged Ramses' psyche so badly that this calm, collected, brilliant military commander is reduced to Vegeta.
Yes.
Every time he sees him.
Literally.
And I do mean reduced. If you don't understand what I mean by reduced to Vegeta, watch Dragon Ball Z with a critical eye. All he does is talk shit, get his ass whooped, cry, Goku fixes his problems for him. And until very specific arcs in Super.
Yes. And only then. But so like he rushes out there in his he has the ugliest gear in the game. I said
come on.
No, it is. It has a stupid head on it.
It's the instruction manual gear.
It's Goldie Boy, and it's dumb looking. I know, and they could have picked 12 other ones, but no. He rushes out there with Miang, and he sees him, and
Miang is not
she's
affected.
Literally
by,
just there.
She doesn't. This demon of Elru does not get her going.
Nothing gets her going. She's just there.
Faye got her going.
Faye did get her going.
And
Let's be honest.
She liked what she saw there. She was
She was pretty okay with that.
Yeah.
But, Ramses comes out and he yells at Bart and he's like, "Hey, is he a friend of yours?" And Bart's like, "No." And
Bart's like, "Do you not see him actively attacking us?"
Yeah, because like literally the demon is just at Bart and he's like, "Hey, are you strong? Are you strong? I kind of like to know if you're strong."
I really like the idea of this character. I believe we have a name now.
No, we're just told he's the demon of Eru. That's the only identifier we're getting.
So,
yeah.
He has this very cocky, the anime bad guy that just loves fighting.
Yes, and is dumb, overpowered, and knows it.
He's not finding a challenge here.
No, and oh my god, so this is one of those scenes. This scene really got me as a kid. This is one of those scenes that really stuck with me because, when I saw it again here recently as I was playing the game, I lost my shit. Ramses
is one of the cooler parts I remember from being a kid.
Yeah. So like Ramses comes out, he's like, "Hey, is he your friend?" Bart's like, "No," and even if he was, I wouldn't tell you, even though he just told him. And then Ramses, like, I love that because he's literally like, he's like, "Does he?" And he's like, "No." Does he look like he's my friend? And even if he was, I wouldn't tell you. And it's like, bro, you answered the question. But Ramses is like, good, then you won't mind me dealing with him. Ramses is getting ready to have his badass moment. The demon literally turns, flies over, slaps his arm off, grabs him by the neck, well, his gear, I should say, grabs his gear by the neck, slams it into the ground,
slams him
into the ground, knocking its head off and its wings, lifts him back up, and basically laughs about it.
Literally does like the Bugs Bunny thing where they lift him up and spin him around and throw him. And so, it's important to note here that Ramses, when he encounters the demon of Elru, he's like, he's mine.
Yes.
And he doesn't get a shot in.
Nothing. He is not even like, it is literally the fight between these two in this moment is easier than all you parents out there when you have a toddler coming at you and they think they're going to be like tough and pick you up or whatever silly wrestling stuff goes in a toddler's brain, and you literally just like hold them back with one hand.
It was effortless.
The demon used less effort than that.
Effortless. So
he trashes him, trashes Bart, and that's when Sigurd has had enough. And this is the moment that gets me more than anything, because Sigurd's like, screw this, we're saving the young master, engine's full. And they're like, we can't stop the friction of the sand, we'll die. And he's like, I don't care, we'll jump. He jumps. He literally like Dukes of Hazzards the Yggdrasil off the sand and drops it on the demon.
Mm-hmm.
And Bart is like yelling at him. He's like, dude, what are you doing? You know how long it's going to take us to fix this hunk of junk now? He's like, not having it. And then all of a sudden, the freaking thing starts to float up into the air. And the demon is levitating it above him.
This is an aircraft carrier, by the way.
Basically, yeah.
For people that haven't played the game, this is roughly the size of an aircraft
Yes.
carrier. It has a fully functional
Like-
gear hanger.
Yeah,
all that.
it's basically a full-fledged. Imagine a full-fledged aircraft carrier was dropped on a, I don't know, like a dump truck size
Right.
thing, but the demon lifts it up. He's not even touching it. He's literally like lifting it Force style,
Yes.
and he just goes, dropping a warship on me is cheating. Take it back, and throws it at Bart.
When I was a kid, I thought that was such a badass line, and now when I'm an adult, it's like, why would anyone in any situation actually say this?
I know.
It's
But it's that kind of childish,
Yes.
cocky nonsense from
It's-
this demon.
it makes sense the more we learn about this character.
Yes.
But anyway, Bart does indeed take it back.
Mm-hmm.
The demon's giving him no choice.
Yep.
He throws it.
Citan, Sigurd forces Citan to get into a escape pod. Why Citan? Meh. But he launches Citan. Citan gets carried by the wind all the way to the border of with Keslev.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we see what happened to the fleet and how it doesn't exist. It's nothing exists.
Yes.
It's gone. There are parts of Dora left, and Citan recognizes that Dora is here, this gear, and how that's like a big deal because he literally says, he's like, I didn't know Dora was stationed here. I made a mistake. And it's just a hunk of broken junk.
And we actually find out in Perfect Works that one of Citan's jobs when he worked for Gebler was designing and engineering new gear.
Yeah, yeah.
So Citan, he basically what it is he did not anticipate Faye to meet this sort of resistance when he went to the border.
It was supposed to be just like sand cruisers, run-of-the-mill gears.
So this is not what Citan expected to happen.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is a weird moment.
one of the few moments in the game where we're actually flat out told, like, this is not what I wanted.
Yes.
This is not the direction I wanted this to take.
And as a kid, I just kind of like breezed through that in a way. Like it didn't strike me as a big thing. But when I played through it here most recently, and I was really looking at that scene, this is the only time I think up until this point where we're shown any indication that Citan is actually like shaken. Like he's a little shaken.
Right.
And funnily enough, it's just because he made a miscalculation. Not because he just literally saw the demon throw an aircraft carrier. But it's so weird because like when you're playing this, and even as a kid, I did pick up on this. You have Faye meets with Ellie, fights her. He goes to the border. He fights them. We see Bart and Ramses and this demon character that we don't know really anything about yet. And we're getting all these ups and downs. And then also we start getting more and more downs. And there's this major like tonal shift in the game right here. And even just playing it, like I felt it this time, and I kind of feel like I felt it too when I was a kid. Like I started slowly feeling more and more like almost depressed in a way. And it was just because of the feel, just like the way the music was hitting, the way things were happening, because we just watched every character basically get systematically dismantled in some form or another. And it's like there's this huge tone shift. And I don't know, it's one of those things where like when I was a kid especially, like borderline side note, my whole life I've really struggled with like consistency of mood, because borderline personality disorder is a bitch, and that part in that game kind of hit me in a way even back then, but I didn't know why. And it's because it's nonstop up down, and then it's crashing, and like it's
a trip.
It really is
a trip. Even when you're a kid, it's kind of a trip.
Yeah. And
because when you're a kid, it feels like things are going, and then everything stops. And it's kind of like
it's a hard stop.
Kind of like watching a baseball game when you're a kid.
Yeah,
like there's a lot going on, and then there's literally nothing going on.
And it's just super intense. And it was so weird because, like, as a kid and even now, like, I don't know, it's just this hardcore tonal shift, and it's this up down crash kind of feeling going on, and it really like it sets up the next part of the game that we're getting ready to get into and getting ready to experience. It sets it up very well without giving you any hint that it's going to do so.
Right.
Because after Citan sees the fleet, we get basically a hard cut. We do. I almost got things a little bit mixed, jumbled.
And it's a bunch of characters we haven't seen before.
Yeah, this is 100% because we see some dude playing an organ, and it's depressing music.
And he's an elf.
Yeah, which I didn't notice that.
Kind of important.
Yeah,
it's kind of important.
The very first time I ever played the game, I don't remember noticing that, and I learned later because of what that's the thing going on there. But like I'd kind of forgotten, and on this playthrough, I was like, wait, is his ears? His ears are a little bit.
Yeah,
I had one of those moments.
So super important for when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
This is literally the only thing I took from this scene because at this point I was on information overload when I was a kid playing this game.
Yeah.
So like I was reading, but at the same time I was like, I want to control my character.
Yeah.
I want to control my character.
Let me do something. Let me do something.
Not that I was finding it uninteresting. It's just it was so much, and it was such a roller coaster of emotion, and I'm just like not ready for that kind of storytelling when I was a kid. But so the only thing I took from this entire scene where he's playing the organ, there's a treasure chest there. When I get to this place, I have to find it.
Yes, remember the treasure chest. Remember the chest.
When the camera pans, it shows the chest, and I'm like, whenever I get to this room, I need to remember there's a treasure chest because I bet that's good.
Yeah, that one's blue. That means it's a real one. It's not a decorative one.
So anyway, this man is he is Sigmund. He is Kaiser of the Kislevian Empire. So in Kislev has kind of this weird Soviet German aesthetic.
They really mixed with a tad bit of like East-West Germany too.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for with the Soviet Germany.
I mean, they definitely it's more Russia-esque in a lot of ways because but at the same time that feel like it really has that pre-wall vibe.
So. Oh, excuse me. Goodness gracious. We're night shifters and we record in the morning. So
it's technically like wind down bedtime now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It doesn't help that we're having a beer while we're doing this. But so anyway, he's told that someone's arrived for him. And he's like, oh, well, let's go get him.
Yes.
And he goes down. And more characters we haven't seen before.
A whole ton.
It's very clear they're working with Groff.
That's about the only thing we're told for sure because they say that much.
And one of them is called the Executioner.
Yep.
Apparently female.
Yep.
Covered head to toe in some sort of tribal getup. Really is what I always thought it looked like. It kind of
like this. This is not an impression I got as a kid because I didn't know about any of this stuff. Now though, it really kind of gives me these vibes of like the anime Priest, Hellsing. Vampire Hunter D.
I can
like
see that.
This weird, like almost like Inquisition religious thing, but not really kind of thing going on.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm rereading Hellsing, by the way, and it's so fucking good.
Hellsing Ultimate's really good as an anime as well.
I've actually never seen any of the animes. I've only read the
manga. Neither of them are bad, but Hellsing Ultimate is better.
So they've arrived to give the Kaiser a gift.
Yep, it's a big old like shipping container. Yep. That's all we're shown right now. Whatever it is, it's up to him to use it. They're not going to tell him. They can't tell him. They're just going to give him the shit.
It's yours. Do with it as you please. And he's like, well, how's Groff? And they're like, well, he's rebuilding the hot rod in the garage, and Jill doesn't like it, So
they're like, how do you think he's doing? He's freaking busy.
Yeah. Do you know how many people want power?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many people doth want power? He changed how he talked for this part of his life. Okay, leave the man alone.
But only when he's talking about that specific thing.
Yes.
So anyway, the Kaiser accepts this.
Yeah.
But one of his aides is kind of like, "Is it wise to accept these gifts?" And the Kaiser's like, "We are not in any position.
Yeah, we gotta.
I mean,
one thing real fast that I thought was really interesting. Up until this point in the game, we're given the whole Kislev boogeyman kind of thing, right? Where like they're like the evil boogeyman over there.
They're the other.
Yeah.
Yes.
when he's talking to his aide right before they go to check out their shipping container, the aide's like, "Yo, the border fleet's dead, and Gibbler's severely wounded. We should attack." And the Kaiser's like, "No, we're not doing that. Like, we don't have the resources. Do you want us to just all die because we did something stupid? We're not doing that."
Right.
Which is weird because he was supposed to be the devil. But
yes, and it's clear that he's not a completely bad guy.
No,
or at the very least, not a completely
he's not
stupid.
He one thing that turns out to be very important in this scene immediately, while the rest is kind of like later important, is he asks the executioner. He's like, "Look, is there anything I can do for you at all to say thank you for this?" And the executioner is like, "Yeah, I got an idea," and whispers in his ear and then leaves. And his aide is like, what they want? And he's like, that's really weird. You know that dude in the gear that we just captured that was unconscious, the one that was stolen from us so long ago? She wants me to put him in D block with his gear. I guess I'll do it.
Yeah. So, guess what? That guy is Faye. Guess what? That gear is well tall.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise. The only gear stolen for 10 years.
So, Faye wakes up literally in the movie Escape from New York.
Basically, yes. We do get a weird little cutscene with him, if you remember, though.
Oh, no, wait. We get a weirder cutscene. Isn't this when we first see...
this is the flash with the film reel flashback?
Yeah, with the film reel flashback. We see that, but is this also... I don't know, because I know it's a Kislev scene.
The little Faye with the hair in his face? Is that what you're thinking of?
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I don't want to say because I keep saying things sooner and I sound like a fucking idiot, but I was right this time.
So what happens in this scene right as he's waking up is we see him sprinting in darkness, basically.
Yes.
The necklace that we've seen so often is swinging like a pendulum
as he runs.
It gathers like a light in the center and then has like a eruption.
Mm-hmm.
And we see a old timey film reel style scene of little kid Faye kicking a ball with a woman.
Yes.
In the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is. It's just on loop, kicking this ball with this woman. And Faye walks in, and he's like looking around, and we see a little kid Faye in a spotlight watching it. And Faye, like, he's like, what the hell? And then he turns around, and there's another little kid Faye. And this little kid Faye is the little kid Faye that has the hair in his face. And that little kid Faye says, "You shouldn't be here." And then, boom, Faye wakes up.
Which is, again, at this point, when I was a kid, I don't know what's going on anymore. Yeah. I didn't really retain this that well as a kid because it's just like, I don't... I like how different this game is, but I need to play a video game.
Your first playthrough as a 12-year-old...
Yeah.
And it's this different.
And this is the first time the game does this to us. It's going to do it a lot.
Yeah, this is the beginning. But this is the first time
this game does this to us. And it's like I just want to play a video game. Please.
Why are you messing with my head?
So I believe we get the next scene now, the one I was thinking of, right?
No, not yet, actually. I was wrong. Okay. I was wrong on that as well. Yeah, because
it is in Kislev, though. It isn't your first visit.
Yeah, because he wakes up here... The nurse in the what we now learn is the prison hospital.
Oh, I know where the scene I was thinking of is. Yeah. So anyway,
she lets him in. You've been unconscious for 4 days. You're in D block. You're a criminal.
You're a criminal. This is a city. You can do what you want in the city, but if you try to leave this city, this collar on your neck will explode.
Yeah.
Don't try and remove it. Please.
Don't do anything.
Please don't try to remove it. It never works. It will kill you under any tampering.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the original launch of the Xbox 360s. If you try to work on it yourself, it'll fry.
Yes. And about this time, 4 dudes show up, one of them with a Cockney accent for reasons.
Because of course.
Because I think someone didn't want to type any more H's when they were translating that part.
Hello, what have we got here?
Basically, yeah.
Just because I think that conveys this character's intention without you having to like.
It's a very.
I think it just kind of sells to you that.
I think it really plays up to the stereotype, and it obviously I guess it's a worldwide stereotype at this point. But like, everyone thinks Cockney guys are little criminal low lives kind of dude. We don't think of Michael Caine. You know, I mean, we don't think of the Michael Caine's with the Cockney accents. We think of the guy who has a couple teeth missing and is getting ready to stab you outside of a bar.
With the dirty bowler, no matter what era this movie is taking place.
No matter what, yes.
The dirty bowler hat.
But these dudes show up, and they're like, good, he's awake. It's time for your baptismal ceremony. And Faye is just like, And the nurse is like, no, he just woke up. You guys can't do this.
Yeah, the nurse is like, look, like, please, like, she is a medical professional.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to take care of people, and she's like, please don't do this.
And these guys aren't having it because they're like, look, dude, you either come with us peacefully or she gets it too. And
which means they're dead serious. And Faye at this point is kind of like,
fine.
You know what? And Faye he's a martial arts master. He's very confused. He just watched 2 kid versions of himself, watching a tape of himself playing with some woman with a ball.
After blacking out for 4 days.
He blacked out for 4 days. He's probably hungry. This isn't the first time this has happened to him. He's pretty sure he saw that Groff guy back there.
He doesn't know what happened to his friends. He still really, really wishes Ellie would let him, like, you know, catch a peek, and nothing. He's still thinking about Alice's vaporized boobies.
He's frustrated, okay? He's an 18-year-old boy. He's frustrated, okay? And this guy literally came in and like, righto, you need a place for them frustrations. It's right here, mate. Come on. And he's like, doggone it, this is perfect. Nurse, I appreciate this, but Faye needs this as badly as they do. So,
but the blows keep coming because they're like, you're gonna go talk to the champ. And he goes and meets the champ, who's a literal demon man.
Yeah, the champ, I believe, is the first demi-human we see in the game.
He's
the first one with a character portrait.
No.
What?
No, technically, no. Because if you remember, there's a guy on Bart's ship who's a dolphin man. Yeah, Franz.
Yeah.
And if you talk to him whenever you're on the show, he'll play you random game sounds.
Yeah.
Because he likes to collect sounds.
He's the sonar guy.
Yeah.
Never mind.
This is the first time we ever hear... he hasn't been yet, but this is the first time we'll be hearing somebody referred to as a demi.
Right, because at first we thought it was just like Dragon Ball Z, where like just some people are animal people, and that's it. Because it's Dragon Ball Z literally never addresses that.
Their president's a dog.
There's some
it's not a meme. It's real.
The president of the world.
Of the
by
world,
the way.
yes, is a dog with a very, very nice mustache.
I think what I'm trying to say is play Kakarot.
Yes.
Kakarot was incredible. Did you play Kakarot?
You know what's really funny? I haven't. And the reason why is because literally every time I want to play it, I'm like, I'm going to play it, but I have to get the collector's edition because I'm the guy who's the Dragon Ball fan. I've got the tattoo and everything. And then I look and it's still $100. And I'm like, yeah.
It's going to do nothing but go up. Man.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to do this right now.
It's just going to go up.
Yeah. I'll do it. I'll do it eventually.
Anyway.
But he meets the champ and a gentleman of orcish appearance.
And
actually Blanca. Very Blanca.
Oh, yeah. When I was a kid, it was 100% Blanca.
Blanca.
And when I was a kid, I was like, oh, he looks just like Blanca. And now as an adult, I'm surprised Capcom didn't do something. Like, it's
seriously.
Literally Blanca.
He's green with very big shoulders, fangs, and orange hair.
Yes.
The literal only difference is 2 things. 1, his name is Rico, and 2, I don't think I've ever seen him electrocute anyone.
Right. So, he's the champ.
Yeah, and they talk, and
apparently here in D Block they run fighting tournaments.
Yes,
in Gears.
Yeah, and
this guy ain't never lost.
No, and he also talks about how everyone who shows up here, you know, he kind of reiterates. He's like, you can do what you want. However, you gotta go through your baptism. The baptism is they put you into an alley, a blind alley,
jumped in like
and
a
they
gang.
jump you, and depending on how well you do, you get better shit because of it.
This reminds me, so recently my wife and I wanted to watch a movie. We were going to bed, and we were going through Amazon's free movies, and Don't Be a Menace was on it.
Oh, God.
And the part of that movie that kills me so badly is when they're doing the gang jumping.
Yeah.
And because he's like, you fall down, you better pick your punk ass back up. And they're going in like, the guy, and I never noticed this when I watched it like before, but like this time watching it, like the guy even does the super nervous, like breathe in and breathe out. Like they're really selling it. And then, of course, it's the jump rope.
They're playing like hopscotch or whatever, yeah.
And they have a little rhyme. It's like, they call him G, that is his name. If he can't hang, he's got to get out the gang. And it's like, it's hilarious.
I love that movie so much.
But yeah, so
yeah, Faye's getting ready to get jumped in.
When I was a kid, I don't think I made it very far. I don't. There's not much of a difference in how far you make it story wise.
I don't think story. I don't think in terms of
It's
story.
possible to beat Rico.
It is.
Yeah.
I've done it. I'm going to do it this time around too. Because unfortunately for poor little Rico, I have done a little bit of too much power leveling, and any battle outside of a gear is a cakewalk for me right now. But yeah, you can beat him. I story wise, nothing really changes. Like you don't get anything, an extra scene or what have you. I think the only thing that happens is like you technically get a different dish in the cafeteria.
Yeah, because they're like, hey, you beat the champ. Give him the chicken and dumplings.
Yeah, but it's literally bragging rights, just like getting the rock paper scissors badge or the hide and seek badge. It's just saying you did it. You were prepared enough. But yeah. So next time when I play, that's where I'm going to pick it up is with this fight and try and beat Rico and all of his goons.
So that's where our footage ends, dear viewer. So that's where we're going to stop. Guys, we're having a blast talking about this.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm actually remembering a lot of how I played this one because I never realized how I was just overwhelmed through the sequence of the game as a kid. I was just kind of like
this part especially because it hits you hard.
And what's weird is I knew I liked it.
Yeah.
But it was too much.
Yeah, at the same time, you still need that breather.
Yeah, so we're about to get that breather. There's going to be a lot of brainless bashing coming up.
Sewers.
A lot of oh god, I forgot the sewers. There's something cool about the sewers though that you'll find out later. Anyway,
Red Rum.
Guys, we're having a blast doing that. I know we got to work on our sign-offs because they're very awkward.
That's our charm, damn it.
So I think what I'm trying to say, guys, is don't do drive.
Yeah, don't do drive.
Don't do drive. Get out of the military.
And if you do drive, let us know.
And if you can draw Groff wearing one of those Tim Allen flannels from the 90s, and
put Sighton behind a wood fence,
I'll sign off. My mother's met Tim Allen.
What?
Yeah, did you not ever see that hat at my house? So my parents used to go to the Indianapolis 500 every year.
Yeah.
That was a tradition for them. They loved it. My mom was wandering around one night, probably a little drunk.
Probably.
And she stumbled upon a hot tub and like at a hotel or something. I don't know. This story gets weird, but she has photographic evidence and their signatures.
Wow.
But she stumbled upon these guys hanging out in this hot tub, and one of them was literally Mario Andretti, the racing legend.
That's
who
insane.
Has done amazing things in every single format. He's raced in several different formats.
Yeah.
He's incredible. And my mom was like, Mario Andretti, my husband's such a huge fan. My dad fucking loves Mario Andretti.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, can I get your autograph? And he's like, yeah, sure. And the guy kind of jokes. He's like, do you want his too? And my mom's like, what? And she looks over, and it's Tim Allen.
Jesus.
Tim Allen just hanging out with Mario Andretti. And my mom's like, oh, my God, I got to buy something real quick. And they're like, look, we got a hat. We'll give you the hat, and we'll sign it. You know, like,
wow.
And like my mom, when she tells the story, it's like it's very clear that they were like, just get her the hell away from us.
She was probably drunk and loud.
She's loud anyway. My mom,
Yeah.
I love my mom to death, but she's a loud woman. But
she is.
Anyway, so yeah, I'll leave you guys with that. My mom is oh my God, my mom probably got the power.
Damn it.
My mom.
Let this meme die before it begins.
No, listen, Donner, I'm faithful. Do some, make this count, okay? Use this. Bye, everybody.
Later, guys.